Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're breaking down the ultimate blueprint for enterprise-grade security monitoring. If you're focused on technical architecture and design, you already know the landscape out there is, well, it's incredibly complex. But we're going to distill that complexity right down into a clear, actionable roadmap. We're looking closely at the exact expectations placed on a security architect. So get ready, because we are breaking down the absolute core of what it actually means to architect security at the highest possible level. Do you have what it takes to build enterprise-grade security? Honestly, it's a really serious question. Stepping into the role of an IT security architect isn't just about knowing how to use a few tools. It's a massive, high-stakes mandate. You're basically being tasked with safeguarding the entire enterprise. The expectations are huge, the responsibilities are absolutely core to the business, and the level of expertise required, totally non-negotiable. So how do you actually meet that mandate? How do you prove to everyone that you've got what it takes? Well, to succeed, you've got to master what we call the Architect's Triad. It's basically a three-part puzzle. This consists of three equally critical pillars: SIEM and SOAR, log management, and documentation. You can't just be a technical wizard in one of these areas and completely ignore the rest, right? These are the foundational domains you absolutely must master to really demonstrate your capability as a security architect. So we're going to unpack every single one of these pillars today to understand exactly what is required of you.
Moving right along to Section 1, the Architect's Mandate, focusing on enterprise design.
Let's get right to it. Your primary mandate is crystal clear. You have to design and implement security monitoring solutions at a true enterprise scale. Not just talk about it in theory, not just conceptually understand it, but you actually have to build it. Every single thing we discuss from this point forward is completely in service of this one central mandate. You literally have to prove you can build a solution that's robust enough to handle the immense sprawling scope of a modern enterprise. All right, Section 2, SIEM and SOAR architecture, and why leading the deployment is so critical. So when it comes to SIEM and SOAR, just knowing how to log in and use the tools, yeah, that's not going to cut it. You need to be fully prepared to discuss your specific role in them. Your core responsibilities mean actually leading both the deployment and the ongoing optimization of these initiatives. And leading is definitely the operative word here. You're out there guiding the initial rollout to ensure it's structurally sound from day one, and then you're continuously driving its optimization so the architecture adapts and performs at its absolute peak. This is a foundational expectation. Next up, Section 3, Mastering Log Management. We like to call this the operational trio. Now, down at an operational level, your expertise really has to extend deeply into how raw data is handled on a day-to-day basis. While SIEM and SOAR are your big architectural initiatives, mastering log data actually follows a very specific progression. You're expressly required to have deep expertise in a highly active, daily operational lifecycle. So let's break down exactly what that three-part progression looks like in the real world. Okay, first up is log management. This is effectively gathering and managing the massive mountains of raw data across your enterprise. But as you know, raw data just isn't enough on its own. So next is event correlation. This is the fun part where you connect the dots, finding those hidden patterns within those logs that might indicate a potential issue. And finally, alert tuning. You take those correlated events and you tune the alerts for pinpoint precision, ensuring your security teams aren't just getting absolutely buried by false positives. You manage the logs, you correlate the events, and you tune the alerts. That is the necessary progression every single time. Moving on to Section 4, Essential Technical Documentation, which is, quite frankly, an essential requirement. Our source material lays out this expectation literally word for word. It says, you will be expected to prepare technical documentation, design artifacts, and implementation plans. There's no wiggle room or ambiguity here, folks. This is a strict, authoritative mandate. As an architect, your written plans are just as important as your technical configurations. Think about it. If you can't clearly communicate your architectural vision on paper, there's no way you can actually get it built at an enterprise scale. So you've got to produce three very specific outputs to successfully do this job. First, technical documentation. These are the highly detailed specs of exactly how the system functions. Second, design artifacts. Think of these as the visual models, the diagrams, the structural blueprints of your entire security solution. And third, implementation plans. These are your step-by-step roadmaps for how your deployment and optimization initiatives will actually be executed on the ground. You must be fully prepared to create and confidently present all three of these outputs. Which brings us to Section 5, Designing Enterprise-Grade Security. This is where we look at the complete picture. Bringing this whole thing together, it really maps your day-to-day actions directly to your end results. Across the three pillars, SIEM and SOAR, log management, and documentation, your specific actions of deploying, tuning, and preparing are what actually generate those required outputs. Solid security initiatives, highly precise alerts, and crystal clear design artifacts, they don't just happen by magic. Your actions across all three of these domains directly produce the enterprise-grade security monitoring solutions you are mandated to build. You literally cannot have the final output without mastering the action within each and every pillar. And that leaves us with one final thought. You've seen the blueprint today. You know that to really demonstrate your ability, you've got to master the three pillars of SIEM and SOAR architecture: log management and technical documentation. But hey, the theory is only the beginning. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question. You know the three pillars, but can you actually execute the ultimate enterprise-grade design? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now it's time to take this structural knowledge, dive headfirst into your own high-stakes career journey, and go build something incredibly secure.